This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. We got today's talk, tomorrow's trends for this Monday.
We like to make you the VIP of our show, and the guy who is monitoring the door day in and day out is our big bouncer, James Alexander.
Yes. There's many doors, all 219 doors to be exact. Right across the country is where you can find us on any station across the country, or in your neck of the woods by going. You can check that out by going to dailyflashshow.com and clicking on where to watch, or you can find us on the American Forces Network. Globally, we're just all over the place, streaming and everything. I say this because I want you to comment on the question of the day. Now, this one makes you want to think big. Okay, you got to think big. If you could relive one day in your life, which would it be?
And that is hard. That is
one day.
It's not fair. I have 4 kids, so having a kid, it was probably the first day.
Yeah.
With Carter, when Carter was born, I went up to the hospital right here, and there was like a hill, and it goes down into the emergency room. I went up, and I was so nervous and everything, and then we went to go get him to bring him down, and the car was gone, and I'm like, and it was across the street. I didn't even put it in park.
Just let it coast. It's dark.
Thank God it went if it would have rolled back, it would have went right into the emergency room. It went forward across the street, and it hit a insurance sign, and So I wouldn't want to relive it to fix that. It's just the fact I'm a dad. I'm a dad, and how scared I was, and then nothing to be scared about.
No one else was out there to help, honestly.
Well, I came out and I go, "Where's my car?" And there was like people standing around and looking.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's a good question, James.
It's one of these that makes you stop and think, right?
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of career moments that would be kind of fun to relive, but then you got personal moments too. Gosh, I don't know. That's a tough one.
So I had to think about this,
now.
right? You got
Okay.
one? For me, I don't want to relive any day. The reason why is because I don't trust myself not to change what happened during that day.
You couldn't change. So that's the caveat.
So that would change. I don't know if I would be here. I don't know if I would have my children. I don't know if everybody in the control room. You probably wouldn't know me if I changed anything in that day that I was talking about. I wanted to relive, so I wouldn't do it. I am here by decision, and we'll.
Why the hell do you ask that question to people?
I gotta get your answers. So that's why it's important for you guys to tell me. I want to know so we can bring it up. I want to see the comments because everyone has a day.
Well, because that's a good question, because if you think about it, so many of us live in the past. Whether we're hung up on something or whatever it is, and all the experts will say you got to give up the past, live today, look toward the future, blah blah blah. So if you go down that rabbit hole about what day would you relive, then I feel like you're rehashing the past.
Right, and there's some people that can't let go of that, a time in their life. That's a reason why it was a time in your life, right?
Yep.
I mean, and you got to move beyond it. You can reflect and get, but you get melancholy about it and just are always like, oh, it's never going to live up to that. No, it's not.
Well, good or bad, it made you who you are.
Yeah,
right.
That is true.
And whether there's bad things, they're a lesson. They're always a lesson, and it teaches you. If it's a relationship, it teaches you how to treat the next person.
Yes, I truly believe that.
And what to look out for. Red flags.
Red flags, yes, very true.
Do you have one? Do you have some offhand?
I can't think of anything offhand.
It is a hard question.
It's a tough one because I wouldn't want to pigeonhole myself to that one particular moment. But I'm also not a huge sentimental person. I don't like to look back a lot. I like to just kind of live in the moment and try and move forward.
Yeah. So you turn around, you trip on your future.
Mine, that's totally about me. And last week we were talking about would you rather be famous or money or whatever. It is when Bryan Cranston came up to me and knew me and started talking to me for the longest, like 20 minutes, and I can't believe it. Like,
you're famous!
He knew I had kids, he knew about Andrea because he watched our show back then.
Right.
In Albuquerque,
And to me, it was the coolest. And he is the coolest guy.
Yeah.
I almost never want to meet him again because I don't want to lose it.
That moment.
Because wouldn't you be afraid, like, if you met him again, he would know who you are?
Well, he wouldn't recognize me for sure.
That is true.
Because I was, 170 pounds heavier back then. But Yeah, but I want to kind of keep it where it's at, which goes back to what you guys were just saying, is that like you don't want to change it. That's
right.
That
moment happened.
That moment happened.
Yeah, very true.
I just learned something.
Good question, James. All
Thank
right,
you,
let
thank
us know what you think. Go to our website, dailyflashshow.com. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Netflix is hiking prices once again, and all the subscription plans will be affected. Okay, ad-supported plans go up $1. I know it doesn't sound like much, but over the long period, it does add up. $7.99 to $8.99. Standard plans are going up $2 a month. The premium plans will cost about $26.99 compared to $24. Netflix has 325 million subscribers worldwide, and they just raked in more than $12 billion in revenue from October to December of 2025. Now, here's my stickler. Good luck trying to find your favorite sports teams playing a must-win game.
You can't, right?
Sports broadcasting is so fractured. It may take a master's degree in programming just to figure out who is airing what and if you have the right service. The FCC says the NFL could lose an exemption status if it puts too many live games behind paywalls as the agency starts to crack down on streaming deals with pro teams. The question right now for the FCC to answer after thousands of complaints from viewers is this: is it a sponsored telecast or something else? Fans are shelling out as much as $1,500 a year to have access to every pro football game.
Hey, stop here. We're showing this video here. A guy's using. Pull down the banner just a second because you can't see what he's doing here. So I want to make sure we make a reference of it.
Yeah.
Is that you think about? Go ahead and pull the banner down, Keegan, so people can see what we're talking about. Basically saying where everything is getting paid. There you go. Does that make sense now? Or where you could, he was trying to show you where everything is at and be able to find it, and you can't do that.
It's true. 72% of sports fans think the major events should be required to stay on free broadcast television. The viewing experience for sports has become so fractured, it's become a challenge just to figure out where the game is airing. And the NFL argues that streamers have started to replace broadcasters, and they have to go with the most fan-friendly and accessible distribution models. The NFL holds agreements with Disney, Paramount, Fox, NBC, NFL Network, Amazon, Google, and Netflix, which are expected to rake in more than $100 billion in sports rights fees.
Now, if you're not a sports person, remember when Taylor Sheridan's the first one. Yellowstone. You couldn't find that show
on Paramount Plus.
You couldn't find. It was Paramount Plus, but then they had the old episodes. You couldn't find the new ones, and it was
on like 5 different options.
And different times.
But not all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you're going to have a problem because these are deals made where they're like, well, we're just going to make our money, so we'll put it here.
Yeah.
Now, so if maybe you're not a sports person, your favorite shows, might have this same issue. Yep. We were supposed to get rid of cutting the cord. Yeah. And actually, and the cable companies are going, see, I told you so. If you were going to stand here. And it's becoming that way because we want everything a la carte. Now, you put in there like, well, now they have deals. I think I signed up with Disney and I got Hulu and HBO Max.
Okay.
I don't know who owns what or whatever. I don't even know how I sign in on it.
You know that Mouse House owns everything.
That's true. Right.
But I can tell you, we're spending more money on all the streaming services than we ever did with cable.
Yeah,
because we have so many different streaming services now. And when it comes to sports, I can't tell you when I saw a live game. I watched the highlights on YouTube.
Oh.
I don't even watch live games anymore. The only place you can watch a live game without interruption is at a sports bar. Or you go out to eat. That's where you can watch live games if you don't want to pay for it, right?
Yeah. If you don't want to pay for it.
Okay. So I literally just watch the highlights. If I want to catch the different teams, I watch the highlights.
And here is something else. Then you have blackouts, okay?
Yes.
And so like Atlanta, my in-laws, they love the Braves, and I just found out there was another streamer that's going to have the Braves. They're like, we can't get it because there was some kind of deal going on with YouTube, and so it got blocked off. And then so they bought the NBA package, not NBA, MLB package, and the MLB package because they lived in Florida, wouldn't let them see it, and I was trying to explain to them, all right, we can get you on a VPN, and it was way over there.
It was just too crazy, just making it too difficult. But I would say that Amazon does have the Thursday football games, but the way you watch the game now has changed dramatically. It's literally like Madden. You can go on, you can watch the routes, you can see how.
Which I appreciate that.
But it's becoming too much. It's adding too much to the game.
Hey, really quick, they were talking about wanting to do a Thanksgiving Day game or a day after or whatever, or day before or whatever, and that would give the whole week of football, basically. I don't know if I'd.
It's too much.
Which is an
I think it's
issue
too much.
because the NBA usually depends on. I think
Right.
it's Thanksgiving Day.
The Lions always play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's
So you have 2 games on Thanksgiving.
and you've got competing sports brands, NBA, NFL, jockeying for these specific
Yep.
days.
It's
Like the
bigger than
Christmas
the-
Day games, I think are NBA.
Yeah.
Anyway, let us know what you think.
NFL is coming.
All right, here's our brain flash question. What was the first streaming service to win an Oscar for Best Picture? We'll have the answer right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. Before we jump into Screen Chatter, let's get that answer to the Brain Flash question right now. Here is the question. What was the first streaming service to win an Oscar for Best Picture? If you said Apple TV Plus, you got it right. If you said Apple TV, well, let me give you half a point. It's now called Apple TV. At the time, it wasn't. All right, it is time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. In selected theaters and streaming online is the new cyber crime thriller, War Driver.
Eventually, I'm gonna get caught and thrown in jail for a long time.
He has $3 million in cash and his house.
We're gonna need someone on the inside.
In the film, a computer hacker is lured into heisting the bank account of an unsuspecting woman. I chatted with star Dane DeHaan.
I hope that they're introduced to. Maybe they don't know what war driving is. Maybe they're introduced to this world. I didn't know what it was when I first read the script, and I think it's a really interesting subculture of the world. And I hope it grips them, and I hope they don't see the twists and turns coming, and I just hope they're along for a ride and have a great time,
War Driver is a spotty action thriller with some good moments, but not enough to pull the story out of the mud the film digs itself into. All in all, War Driver is an average crime film with nothing new to add to the genre. Again, War Driver is in selected theaters and gets a C. It's rated R. Also in selected theaters is the road trip comedy Holy Days.
The old ducks have had a good run.
Things are about to change around here.
Tell them what you told me. The bishop sees a convent that's falling to pieces.
Oh, a property developer has sniffed us out.
They betrayed us.
The deeds to the convent are in the South Island.
That's where Mum's from. Why don't we just go get them?
In the film, a lost boy in search of heaven teams up with 3 odd nuns for a road trip like no other. I chatted with stars Miriam Margolyes and Jackie Weaver and director Nat Bolt.
Miriam, talk to me about being in that automobile.
Well, that was not the most glorious moments for me, even though it was a lot of the film, of course, was in it. You just adapt in the end, you just find a way of hitching up your habit and making sure that you haven't got the rope between your buttocks. It's not an easy costume to wear in a car.
When I've seen Vox Pops, people are saying, "Oh, it made me laugh, it made me cry." It just like real life. It was so moving and yet so uplifting. So I think audiences are going to love it. Something you can take your grandma to see and your mama.
Because my favorite films and my favorite place was always, going back into my safe place, the womb, I call it, which is cinema. And a lot of us have lost the habit of going into cinema and just, switching the world off for an hour and a half. And in this case, you can absolutely do that. You can go back in time, you can go to a faraway, innocent place, and you can have an adventure.
Holy Days is a touching and funny film about the weight of grief and coming to terms with loss through friendship and humor. Again, it's playing in selected theaters and gets an A. It's not rated. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Thank you there, Tony. Well, as travelers flock to warm weather destinations like Florida to escape the cold, there's a hidden trend that many don't see coming, a spike in injuries. We call it sun, suds, and stitches. And telling us how to stay out of the ER during our spring break is Dr. Kevin Freels of Orlando Health. Hi, doctor. Welcome. All right, what is it about spring travel season that drives a surge in ER visits?
Yeah, I think it's about really letting your guard down, right? I think a lot of the preventable injuries can be associated with three main topics: the weather, the water, and what I classify as the extracurricular activities. With the weather, look, everybody wants those long beach days, that golden suntan. You want to put on sunscreen, reapply sunscreen. Dehydration and heat-related illnesses are a real thing. Make sure you're hydrating, rehydrating with water. People also want to be acutely aware of some of the medications they could be taking. Could cause dehydration or heat-related illnesses faster. With the water, if you go swimming, have a swim buddy. If you can't swim, wear a life jacket. If you don't want to wear a life jacket, don't go above your waist. The ocean is unforgiving, and rip currents are deadly.
Okay, Doc, how do you prevent water and alcohol injuries?
So basically, water and alcohol does not mix, right? You don't want to drink and go swimming. You don't want to drink and go boating, right? You have a tendency to place yourself into precarious situations, right? If you are drinking, I keep saying this, have an accountability partner or a sober buddy.
Tell everybody what heat illness actually looks like.
You can really pack this into two aspects, right? Dehydration and heat-related illnesses, right? And sunburns. So with sunburns, you want to make sure that you are applying sunscreen and reapplying sunscreen. With dehydration and heat-related illnesses, you want to make sure you're hydrating and rehydrating with water, okay? Make sure you're not over-consuming alcohol. If you are consuming alcohol, you want to drink water with it as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Freels. And if you want more information on having a safe spring break, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com, or you can head to orlandohealth.com.
Well, she is saying I do to the gown, even though she doesn't have a groom. A New York City influencer is going viral for buying a wedding dress, despite the fact she doesn't even have a boyfriend right now. Her post reveals how she scored a $4,500 wedding dress for $100 at a sample sale. Her post has already racked up close to 4 million views on Instagram and TikTok. Her argument, hey, there was something about trying on the dress that just helped me visualize getting married. And it reminded me to stay open and optimistic.
All right, and it's a gorgeous, it looks like she did a photo shoot right afterwards.
Yes.
If I started dating this one, I would be like, okay, let's slow it down a little bit. But then I go, hey, that's taken care of.
Yeah.
Next, let's get going. So there's goods and bads, all that. And
yes.
It's a lovely dress for sure.
And I think she's trying to put it out there and maybe think forward.
I think so too, yeah.
And I like that positive attribution. I don't like the whole social media thing because I feel like half the time people are just doing it for clicks and likes.
100%.
Yeah.
Good deal though, $100.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. Isn't that one place where they have like a yearly sale?
Filene's Basement.
And people fight.
Yes.
It's like crowds and they go in and they're just grabbing.
Yeah.
They don't even know what size it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Smart though.
Yeah.
Cops all across the nation have issued a warning to teens who are taking part in the door kick challenge. All right, the trend involves people kicking front doors. Once they kick or slam the front door, they run away while recording the entire stunt. This is nothing new, right? It used to be Ding Dong Ditch, but now it's kicking. A new public warning was released after the trend regained traction thanks to social media. In North Carolina, a teen was shot in the leg by a terrified homeowner during the late night prank. In Houston, cops also say a boy was fatally shot after hitting a door and then running away. Authorities say it's a situation that can turn from funny to them to fatal in just a matter of seconds. And, all in all, it's just not cool, especially if you're doing it late night, overnight. You don't know, maybe there's a baby in the house. You're going to wake up the dogs. You never know. And then also, you're just making your neighborhood feel like it's not safe altogether. Now we have to look out for you. And so...
And I think that the other layer to this is that they're doing it on camera, and they're doing it to post videos. So the more frightened and terrified they can make somebody feel, the more clicks they think they can get. And I think there's something terribly wrong with that. In addition to a safety issue, because, you know, one kid was shot and killed, another homeowner is fearing for his life. In the state of Florida, you know, you can stand your ground and defend yourself. So not a smart thing to do here.
It's just stupid.
It's just,
another stupid thing.
Yeah.
Why is it happening? But kids are going to be doing stupid things.
Shocking video shows a California skier holding on for dear life after slipping from a chairlift on Bear Mountain out in California. Take a look at this. The unidentified skier was seen dangling from the lift as a pair of snowboarders held onto her arms. Ski patrol members waited to assist the skier when they pulled into the station. Unclear how the woman slipped through the lift safety bar. Witness who posted video said he spoke with the skier afterwards. She was shaken up but okay. A little bit more to this story. She did this as an attempted prank to scare her sister, not realizing she was going to slip through the bar. It was supposed to be just kind of a funny stunt, but instead this is what happened, and she could have died.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So she was trying. Look, is there two people? I can't.
Yeah, I think there's 2 or 3 people on the chairlift. So she was doing this as a. It started out as a prank to scare her sister who was on the chairlift, and then it ended up turning into one of these situations where, like, oh my goodness, this went too far.
And I got to tell you, if something like this happens, they'll stop it because they don't know what's going on. Then now you're just dangling.
Yeah.
I'm sure they figured out, assessed it, and then maybe she went all the way up. But it's something scary to do if you ever been on these lifts, and to do something like that, you know, she might get banned.
She could. It might not be a bad thing.
Probably for her own safety.
Yeah.
A stuffed horse that appears to be crying has become China's latest hot toy.
Crazy.
A $4 stuffed toy was meant to be a smiling icon for Year of the Horse, but an error in production caused the muzzle to be sewn upside down. Factory said it sold about 400 of these horses per day, believe it or not, when they first realized it. But the viral status of the crying horse led to orders reaching tens of thousands per day. Horses have become mascots for young workers who consider themselves overworked and underpaid, much like sad workhorses, maybe. I guess that's where it's coming
is that what it's supposed to be? Okay.
And this is Year of the Horse, so I guess now it's Year of the Crying Horse.
Crying horse. Okay.
Just a mistake.
Litter-loving tourists are leaving their mark and whatever else they have in their pockets on the Brooklyn Bridge. So much garbage is being tied to a fence in the middle of the bridge that cleanup crews cannot keep up with the removal. This trashy trend has been plaguing the Brooklyn Bridge on and off for years, but has taken off in recent months. The Department of Transportation said crews clear the pedestrian walkway, but won't say how often. It sounds like they just can't keep up with it. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that doesn't even look cool. I remember, like, in London, and I think in France, there's that locks you put on the thing.
In Paris.
And then I know in Oklahoma City, right by the memorial there, people put stuff on the thing. But they have a team. They have somebody that once a month or once periodically and takes it off and keeps it. They don't throw it away.
Okay.
Because this is all a memory. But this just looks like trash.
And that's what it is. It's garbage.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Usually, you know how you can make art to make it look nice?
Yeah.
This doesn't even look nice.
It just looks like somebody's trash got blown out and it's stuck to the fence.
Welcome to Brooklyn. Here's the trash, what you expect. We got more of today's talk, tomorrow's trends still to come right here on Daily Flash.
You miss a minute, you miss a lot.
Heard that.
Don't go anywhere.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi everyone, I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Before we do anything, let's check in with James Alexander, who's got his eye on our stations across the nation. James!
Yes, 200 lovely 19 stations across the country. And you can find us on the American Forces Network across the globe. Now, you can go to our website, thedailyflashshow.com, and click on where to watch to find out where we are in your neck of the woods. And of course, you can check all our social and streaming platforms and this, that, and other to find out where we are. Now, local friend today comes from Los Angeles, California. KCOP-TV.
Oh, yeah,
KCOP,
yeah.
All right, LA. We all think we know a lot about LA, right? LA is known as the entertainment capital of the world. Woohoo! Not anymore.
That is true. They're actually struggling right now.
Yeah, Hollywood is.
Yeah.
So that goes to my next one. Hollywood is home to the Hollywood and the film industry. Not anymore. I think the film industry is here in the South in Georgia. They shoot a lot of stuff in Georgia.
There's a good argument for that, yep.
And they say Los Angeles has nearly perfect weather all year round.
I would say San Diego beats LA in that department, but they have good weather.
Ooh, shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired.
All right. And of course, anything of course you see on the show, we would love for you hear from you. All you have to do is go to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Looks like the NBA is saying, listen, losers, we're going to do something about it. The commissioner, Adam Silver, has come out and said, listen, we are changing the draft system. James, I'm going to refer to you on a lot of this. You're our expert, our sports guy. They're saying this is all going to happen next season, and they're aimed at stopping teams from sucking.
Yes.
Really, it's what it is, right?
Tanking is a real thing, so it happens across every sport. But there have been so many conspiracies when it comes to the draft, like one with Shaq. He says he was asked by, let me make sure I say the right person, David Stern in 1992, where do you want to go, hot or cold? He said hot. So where was Shaq drafted to? Orlando Magic. Now there's another one that talks about what happened in the lottery in 1985. The frozen envelope. There was like infamous frozen envelope conspiracy, but it was used to, they had to pick envelopes, and the person that year who was drafted, I think I want to say Patrick Ewing. So Patrick went to the New York Knicks. They had to pick the New York Knicks. They wanted to have the first pick in the draft.
It's a big deal to get that first pick, right?
It's a big
so
deal.
What's
A lot of
happening
conspiracies.
is that usually the worst teams get the better chance in the lottery, right?
Supposedly, yes.
Yeah, but it's still a weird setup. Like you're not guaranteed the first pick.
Remember, everyone, it's entertainment.
Yes.
They can do whatever they want to do with it. And it shows that, we're hearing all these conspiracies later on, but they're coming from the players themselves.
Here's the problem that I have with a lot of it, especially as we get toward the end of the season, because I think there's maybe, less than a dozen games left in the regular season right now, is that oftentimes if teams know they're tanking, then they'll sit their best players. The reason why fans come to the games is because they want to see those great players play. And then if they're sitting on the bench or they're hoping to get traded or whatever it is, then they're out of money because, they're going to a game and who are they going to see? The B team, the C team? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
that's the only way you're going to get them in there. And then they have blackouts for those cities because they want people to go see the games, but they don't want to see the games because they know that they're losing. I got to jump into this. One proposal that they have is 18 teams are going to be in the lottery. There's a total of 22 teams already, and that includes the lottery teams and the play-in teams. That's one possibility of what they're going to do. Another one is to give some version of equal odds to the bottom team. So just because of the bottom doesn't mean that you'll get the best pick out of all. Like the bottom teams get the same shot at the top picks. And then last one, the draft odds can be based on the last 2 seasons combined, and prevents teams from doing just a one-year tank job.
Yeah,
tanking is
I'm
a big
scared
deal.
about that. I don't think any of that's going to work.
Yeah, it basically comes down to you should
too
be
much money involved.
rewarded
for failing.
And that's what we, as a society, where we're having, right? Yeah. We got some celebrity real estate people that did well and bought homes. We're going to take you inside some.
Yeah, question of the day recap to today's talk, tomorrow's trends. We're back right after this.
We're always looking for simple ways to save time, money, and effort to make everyday chores easier, especially in the kitchen. One small swap many families can actually make is switch to refill routines for household products. Here with some smart kitchen hacks is home and lifestyle expert Yvette Rios.
There's actually a shift happening in kitchens right now because families are looking for simple upgrades that save time, money, and effort. And refilling your dish soap is one of the easiest changes that you can make. But I was surprised to find out that 12% of households only actually refill their dish soap. Most people are going out and buying a brand new bottle every time they run out, which means more trips to the store and more money spent, which is what is so exciting about the fantastic new design that is going to make refilling easier than ever. This is the new Dawn Platinum Refill Jug. It's designed to be ergonomic and simple to use, so something that used to feel a little messy and maybe inconvenient now just feels like a smart kitchen habit. You can go to dawndish.com, and the new value-sized jugs featuring the upgraded formula are available in stores nationwide and online.
And now a healthy way that could actually help avoid serious heart issues. Check this out.
The 2026 American Heart Association Dietary Guidance reaffirms that a flexible, minimally processed eating pattern is the best way to reduce cardiovascular risk.
Focus on the big picture. More veggies and fruits, plant proteins like beans and nuts, and whole grains. Limit sugar and salt. Simple swaps. Choosing fats from avocado or olive oil yield long-term benefits. Focus on progress over perfection to make heart-healthy eating sustainable for a lifetime.
Learn more at heart.org/healthy diet.
Hey, this April is known as World Wish Month. Make-A-Wish is urgently calling for wish makers. Here to discuss how everyone has the power to deliver hope when it's needed most are Jared Perry, Chief Revenue Officer, Make-A-Wish America, and Make-A-Wish alum, Alaya.
April really is the most exciting month of the year for Make-A-Wish. It's a time where we celebrate the first wish that was granted 46 years ago, but it's also the time where we honor and celebrate the wishes that we're granting now. For every wish we grant, it takes more than 50 wish makers. Those are donors, those are volunteers. It's our community stepping up. It takes more than 50 of those wish makers to make every wish, every life-changing wish like Aaliyah's possible.
This past summer, I had the incredible opportunity to go to a studio in LA and to write and record a song with Justin Tranter and their team. And actually, we have the chance to listen to some of the song now.
It's not that it's a secret, but honey, when I speak it, we're diving in the deep end. There's no going back. It's not.
Right now, we're granting a wish every 33 minutes of every day. Yet, for every wish we grant, there's 2 more. So that call to action is real. We do need more help. We do need more financial support. And go to wishmaker.org, and you can find out how to support us and follow all the things that are happening during the month of April.
Today, we are joined by Paul Markovich, President and CEO of Ascendian, to talk about a new national movement called Worthy that aims to deliver meaningful healthcare reform for all Americans.
One of the things that I think makes Worthy different than other causes is that it's trying to get to the root cause of what drives the behavior that makes healthcare so expensive and inconvenient. In terms of rebuilding trust in the healthcare system, 2 things need to happen. One is everyone needs to have access to all their information. When you have all your information at your disposal, you can be more confident that you're getting the right care. And the other is to make sure that the people who are taking care of you are getting paid to do the right thing on your behalf. So when they're rewarded for making you healthier and happier with your service, that's exactly the kind of confidence that you're going to have, is that they're in your corner doing the right thing on your behalf. And when you rebuild that kind of trust in the healthcare system, you can also make healthcare more affordable. And you can find everything that you need to know about our cause, Worthy Cause, at thisisworthy.com. There's plenty of information. There's a pledge that you can sign, and so we'd love it if you visited the website and got engaged.
Hey, a new analysis from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce highlights how American medical breakthroughs are helping people live longer, healthier lives. Here to break it down is Brad Watts from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
The private sector drives medical innovation in the United States. Several years ago, there was a study that found of the biggest medicines currently on the market, 94%, 94 out of 100, had no federal funding. They were all funded by the private sector. Think about that. That is massive amounts of investment from private businesses who are taking a risk because they want to bring that treatment or cure to market. If we don't have the right policies in place to support medical innovation, strong IP rights, rejecting price controls, we are going to undermine America's medical innovation success story, which ultimately means American patients will have fewer treatment options and they will wait longer for cures. And that's an outcome no one wants. For more information, please go to uschamber.com/price controls. There you can find all of our research about the full value of medical innovation and how it supports societal gains.
As the World Cup approaches, soccer interest is surging across the U.S. Chobani and U.S. Soccer partnered to feed the dream, getting more kids on the field and access to nutritious food to help them play their best. Sports dietitian Tatiana Velez-Burgos joins us now. Hi, Tatiana. So what does this initiative mean for families?
This initiative is actually addressing the #1 limitation in sport, which is access. Through Feed the Dream initiative, Chobani is making a $5 million investment to support 500 youth soccer teams nationwide, helping offset costs and expand opportunities for kids to participate. You can scan the QR code on a new limited edition packaging to vote for your own local youth soccer team for the chance for them to win a $10,000 package, including funding and equipment.
And Tatiana, for parents and coaches, what does fueling properly look like for young athletes?
This topic can be quite confusing, but I always say keep it simple. That way you are consistent and can apply it every day. Before practice, your body needs energy from carbohydrates like fruit and smoothie, and after practice, your body needs to recover, and it needs protein. For example, you can pair Chobani Greek yogurt with fruit. Chobani and U.S. Soccer Forward Foundation created a practical nutrition playbook that gives coaches simple tools to help their young athletes learn how to fuel their bodies, play strong, and stay healthy.
And where can we go for more information?
You can find more information on chobani.com/soccer. You can vote for your local youth soccer team, download our nutrition guide, and enter U.S. soccer sweeps.
Tatiana, thanks so much. We'll post this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
Moving along, for 125 years, the New York International Auto Show has been driving the trends that shape the industry and our driveways. Brian Moody joins us with an inside look at this year's car show. Hey, Brian, what are you actually seeing this year that has everybody pretty much talking?
Lots of cool cars here in New York. What's interesting is they have a nice display out front of some vintage cars. If I could take one home, it would be a 1937 Auburn that has a boat tail and it's supercharged. I mean, if it was the 30s, I don't know how cool that guy would be showing up in that thing. That's one of the cool things, but also new cars inside here. We're here at the Volkswagen booth, so they have lots of interesting things as well. Just a lot of variety here in New York.
All right, tell me more about some of the latest trends.
Yeah, one of the trends is a continuing trend, actually, where Americans kind of prefer SUVs. So when you look at certain manufacturers, you can see that they have a small, medium, and large SUV. That's a trend that we see continuing. We also see a trend toward gasoline-powered cars. That's a continuing trend. There are still electric cars, but it's more of a even mix, not so dominant as in years past.
And what kind of advice do you have for anybody that maybe might be out there looking for a new ride?
Yeah, if you're looking for a new car, an auto show like this is the perfect place to do that. You can get inside and push the buttons, and you can assess what you need. So figure out how many kids you're going to be bringing, how much cargo you need to haul, what's the right car for you, and you can use online resources to look at some cars before you go for a test drive. When you look at a car like this Volkswagen Atlas behind me, you see that it's a decent-sized SUV with 3 rows of seating. Do you need that, or can you get by with a slightly smaller SUV? You have to figure that stuff out before you go down for the test drive.
Folks want more info? Where can they go?
For more information on the New York Auto Show and the cars that you see here, go to vw.com/atlas.
Brian, thanks for joining us. We're going to post this info on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
An upstate New York mom could not believe her eyes when she gave birth to a record-breaking baby boy. Her supersized bundle of joy was twice the size of an average newborn. The new parents were in disbelief when their son arrived weighing 13 pounds. The hospital shared a photo showing the giant infant alongside a 4-pound baby girl born the same day. Hospital celebrated both arrivals, highlighting that every baby in birth is unique and precious. The heaviest baby on record weighed 22 pounds and was born in Italy in 1955.
Wow.
That is a big boy.
Wow.
13 pounds.
The mom, you know, obviously I've never carried a child around, but imagine carrying 13 pounds of anything around for a while. It just had, you know, the mom has to be exhausted out of all this. God bless her. And,
right? Her poor back. That's all I can think.
And you know, and that baby's going to be healthy and strong. I'm glad they compared them, because that was the only way you could be able to tell. Very interesting. All right, look at that. I mean, it tells you right there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Wow. Imagine football. It's sweet baby James's baby picture.
That's right.
Right next to me.
That could work. I can see that.
I can see that. All right. Our Pink, we know her as a rock star. She's now moved to New York, and there's some rumors out that she might be taking over the Kelly Clarkson show. Insiders say that the singer appears to be back on the scene. Her relocation might have fueled gossip about her marriage, but she denies any divorce talk regarding her husband, Corey, of 20 years. Clarkson is set to end her NBC talk show after 7 seasons. Pink has actually guest hosted and seems to like it, having some fun. Kelly's expected to end that show next month. And that's a show, Kelly Clarkson, they had moved her location from LA to New York and that sort of thing. And then she went through that horrible divorce and then all kinds of other personal stuff. And probably just took a toll on her. And people don't necessarily think of that. Pink, I think, has a great work ethic. I mean, it just looks like she's always doing stuff.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, she's also one of these people that tends to divide a lot of folks because she's gotten very political in recent years. So you kind of hope somebody like that or NBC would look at somebody who's not as controversial, but maybe she'll be different for a talk show.
All I know is every talk show that a host that I've liked, all of a sudden they turn into this crazy different person at the end of their run, and maybe Kelly Clarkson might go, I don't want to be that person, so I'm getting out now. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen to Pink. So we've upgraded.
Mitch, the website.
Of course, we got more Hollywood stories.
More Mitch, please.
And now you can read and watch what we couldn't fit on the show.
And there's even a sound off button.
Just click it.
Leave us a message.
Right there from your computer.
Or even your cell phone. You could hear your voice right here on TV. So what are you waiting for?
Go on and check it out. Right now. Go on. Do it.
DailyFlashShow.com. It's the website for Daily Flash. We kept the name simple for you.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Don't just sit there. Come out and hang out with us online and ladies in person. I'm already relaxed. I got my jacket on, can't say. We're all over Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Just search Daily Flash Show and jump into the fun. And of course, you can always sound off by dropping us a line at flash@dailyflashshow.com is our email, or you just click on sound off and just leave me a message. All right, here's your question of the day. If you could relive one day in your life, which would it be?
All right.
Mitch, Andrea, what you got?
Again, I think, having 4 kids, each one of my kids being born would be one, but then all together, as I said earlier, when Bryan Cranston came up, hold on a second, I dropped a name here.
You did.
Bryan Cranston.
Pick it up.
I dropped the name. Bryan Cranston. When he came up to me and just started talking to me, he said he was a fan of the show. So,
I'll pick a day when I first started out in television news, ABC in San Diego. I got to cover the Academy Awards on the red carpet, and so that would be a day I wouldn't mind reliving.
Oh, yeah, that's something you never forget.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And you think about how much you're like, oh, I always wanted to do this when I was, as you get older. And speaking of which, the one, my son's calling me right now.
See?
Apparently, that was
He
one
heard
day
you.
he wants to relive with me. Hold on, maybe I should answer it.
That's
It won't answer.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see if I can answer it. He hung up.
How about you, James?
James?
Hey, it was just one time in band camp where
No, James.
You can't do that.
It is what it is, Hey, you know what? I guess I just can't pick one day, and I think I would change something in that day if I did. So I am happy to be here with you guys because, you change something in your past, it affects everything in your future.
Which makes you be in the moment and make the most of the moment. And you don't want the butterfly effect to be messing up your lives in any way at all. All right, good stuff. Of course, we are always open and waiting for you on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Yeah, 24/7. The drive-thru is available anytime you like it. Be good, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, y'all.